Hey heroes, this is your resident string player Darian.
And this is Angela, your certified brass player.
And you're listening to Hero Talk, the show that is here to talk about real life
and real women in music. Okay, let's get started.
Oh, hey Angela.
Hey.
Welcome to Hero Talk, everyone.
Welcome.
Episode number 1. I'm just going to put it out there for anyone who's actually listening to episode 1. I think we're both a little nervous.
A little bit.
So be kind to us, please.
So, Darian.
Yes.
Tell us about Hero.
Yeah. So Hero Talk is a branch off of this nonprofit I've been trying to start called Hero. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but there's some thunder going on outside. It's really late and it's thundering. But Hero is this nonprofit I got the idea for. We're pretty new, so a couple months back, and March, maybe April, and it kind of just took off. And I've always been really passionate as a classical violinist and a woman about women in music. I don't know if you can hear that. We're just getting all the sounds now, AC and thunder. Yeah. Guys, don't judge us.
Don't judge us.
We're just students getting our doctorates and trying to make it in classical music. So
Trying, yeah.
we're trying to make a difference, especially with Hero. Our goal is to connect and promote women in music through education. We are hoping to set up a conference and a lot of other projects like Hero Talk to connect our listeners and hopefully our members on our website to learn about what women are doing in music, since there is a big discrepancy between men and women in a lot of career fields, including classical music. And we're hoping through Hero Talk to learn about our everyday experiences, mine and Angela's and some of our friends, and the women who are amazing in the classical music industry. We're going to be interviewing some amazing people. Like next week, we have Rachel Lumsden, which we'll talk more about with you guys later in this episode. But we're very excited that we're creating like this avenue to learn about all the things we don't hear about every day about women in music. And you'll hear from a wide range of different performers, educators, pedagogues. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so whether you're an artist, musicologist, composer, or an arts administration, we want to find and create an environment where we can all come together and promote each other, just like Darian said.
Yeah, and create like a really open and welcoming environment for people just like us who want to talk about their experiences or tell us about their stories of the things that happen to them every day.
Yeah.
We want this to be a safe space for everyone, and where you can laugh and feel like you're just in a coffee shop or talking at a bar, catching up. That's the whole thing. Break the normalities. Not the normalities. Formalities.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
I'm
I'm trying to be a podcaster, y'all.
It's hard out here.
I know. We're break the formalities, because behind what you see on the classical music stage, we are anything but formal, I feel like.
Honestly, yeah. But, that's
we're a bunch of nerds.
We are.
Probably talk about classical music too much, and like right now, maybe drink too much wine. Actually, no, we're not. Just joking. But yeah, let's introduce ourselves though, because this is episode 1. You guys don't know anything about us. Let's start with Angela. So you heard already in our little intro that Angela is our brass player representing.
Certified brass player.
I know, who certifies brass players?
Florida State. So I am a second-year doctoral student at Florida State University studying trumpet performance. And I did my undergrad at Troy University, go Trojans, in music education. My master's at Ithaca College, go Bombers, in trumpet performance. And now I'm here at Florida State, back in Florida. I'm originally from Panama City Beach, Florida. So If anyone's from Florida, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm also, I'm not from Florida. Angela's from Florida. I am not. I'm a Texan. Though I don't feel like I really identify with Texans. I'm sorry if anyone just from Texas is listening. Don't hate me. But yeah, I grew up in San Antonio, and I am representing our string players. I'm a violinist. I did my undergrad at Belmont University in Nashville. So I was in Tennessee for a while. I moved around a bit, just like Angela. And now I did my master's at Florida State, and I'm about to start my doctorate at Florida State. So I'm staying. Florida State's pretty awesome.
Go Noles.
You're just like repping all the schools. And I'm like, I could care less about our mascot.
Well, I started music really in marching band, and that's how I really got into it. So I feel like I have a big connection with sports, and I have to be like, yeah, go Noles.
This is sad. I haven't even been to a football game at Florida State.
We're going. I'm bringing you. We're going to go. Go Noles.
I never got into it because Belmont University didn't have a football team. We had a big basketball team, but I'm also not a huge basketball fan, so I never went.
Oh, dang.
I feel like
your world's about to change.
Anyone's a sports fan's going to hate me now because I'm like, I'm never going to games. Yeah. I didn't like basketball.
If you didn't grow up with it, it's kind of hard to get into it as an adult.
I'm also from Texas. I feel like I should have been a sports fan.
You should.
I guess I was too much of a music nerd.
Too much of a nerd. That's okay, though. Look, you got here now, so
we're
being
interesting.
A nerd helped you out.
Yeah, I hope y'all are getting a sense of who we are now.
Oh, God.
Hopefully we're representing ourselves well.
I hope so.
But yeah, and I think a little of why we wanted to do this, I might have already said, but personally, I wanted to do this because I think I listen to podcasts all the time. I feel like it's a great way for people to get to know us. Angela is the director of education at Hero, one of the people on our board, and I wanted you to get to know the people behind Hero and hopefully create just like another avenue of learning that people can easily digest and just listen to and relax. And
yeah, I think it'd be a fun story to tell our listeners how we've actually, because we went to school with each other for like a year and didn't even know each other, and then I emailed her website and it was like,
I was so excited. You were my first email through the Hero website, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, I want her.
I want her. So if y'all want to be a member of Hero, go check out our website. So Darren, what's our website?
Well, if you want to let us know you want to be a member, you can visit our website, her/omusic.com, and you can find our email there and let us know you're interested in Hero. Our formal membership isn't available too, but we will put you on our list to become a member, which will have a monthly newsletter. You will be able to promote your performances and connect with other musicians. We're working to get that set up. Like I said, give us some grace. We're only a couple months old. We're hitting the ground running.
Cheers.
I know. So all you have here is Angela and me. By the way, my name's Darian. But there are other people behind the scenes who are helping launch Hero. They are not on the podcast. Me and Angela are the only ones brave enough to talk to y'all, apparently. I don't know. I wouldn't know if I call myself brave. I always feel a little nervous. When Angela volunteered, I was like, thank God.
Let's go. We can do this together.
Yeah.
We got this.
But my good friend, Miranda Rojas, she went to Belmont with me. She is our music director, amazing violinist as well. She's a year younger than me, and I like to say that she followed me to FSU. You never know, but we're good friends, and I love her to bits. And we have our financial director, which is Amanda Frampton. So smart, so talented, also a violinist. I promise I'm not biased, y'all. And she's arts admin major, very amazing. And hopefully you'll hear some of them on the show at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we have our artistic director, Bella, who's a cellist. Love her. If you're on our social media on Instagram or Facebook, all the promotions made by her. She's amazing. So talented.
She's killer. She's doing great.
Oh yeah. And I'll send her prompts and be like, hey, can you make this? Cause I'm not talented with graphic design and all that. She's like, oh yeah. And sends it to me in a couple hours. And I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, you're saving me so much time, so I'm gonna figure out all this
Bella.
crap.
Yeah.
Great cellist too. And for any of you who obviously you won't know because it's episode 1, so never mind. But we're going to be having a recital in the fall, and a lot of us, Angela, Bella, Miranda, and I, we're all going to be on playing in really cool instrumentations like trumpet and violin. We're going to have like a vocalist, and Bella is going to create some immersive design. So a little hint at what's coming up. Little wink, wink, like, hey, follow us on Instagram and let us know, and we will post about the upcoming recital. And I'm planning on live streaming it.
Yeah.
So y'all can watch it. It's very exciting stuff. Hopefully getting a way for y'all to get to know us.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I hope you guys got to learn a little bit more about us and going along for the ride, bumps and all.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to transition a little bit. So we have been posting questions that are open for anyone to answer. We're going to talk about some of them today.
Yes. So we wanted to post these questions on our Instagram to learn more about our audience members, our listeners, and kind of get a grasp of who our family is, our hero family is.
We're just having a good old time. I'm trying my hardest not to mess with this interface we have over here. We got all the new toys for the podcast. We have like sound effects and everything.
Thanks, Dana.
Oh, I know.
Shout out to Dana.
Huge supporter. So we got Angela's boyfriend messaging Hero and answering our questions, and Dana pretty much lending us these awesome mics.
Let's go. Thank you.
But we got this interface. I'm like, listen to this. This is so fire.
Ooh.
Oh,
We
yeah.
should have used these more in the beginning.
Oh, a little too late
I
now.
know.
Unless I don't know.
Ooh, I got one. Okay. All right. Press that after this question.
Uh-huh.
So, what is the biggest challenge you face as a woman in music? What?
Wait, which one was it supposed
The
to be?
blue one.
Oh.
Okay, one more time. So, what is the biggest challenge you face as a woman in music? All right.
We're such dorks. So if you ever see us posting another question on our Instagram, imagine that music after you're done reading it. I like the sparkle.
You like sparkle? Let's try it. Okay. Oh. What is the biggest challenge you face as a woman in music? Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think it's always sunshine and rainbows,
No, it's
but
not.
I like to imagine it can be someday
Someday we'll get there.
through Hero.
Yes.
But yeah, so Angela, now that we're not messing around, can you tell them again what our question was that we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah. So the question was, what is the biggest challenge you face as a woman in music? We've got a wide array of responses from our audience. So thank you for those responses.
Yeah, so please follow us on Instagram at hero.musicians.
Yes.
We
see more.
want y'all to interact with us. We want you to join our safe space. But our first response, which I found really interesting, I actually got to explain it to a couple people, which I thought was interesting.
Wow.
But it said, men with imposter syndrome taking their insecurities out on women. So someone responded thinking that was the biggest challenge that women face. I thought it was really interesting. But I kind of interpreted it as the sense of insecurity, and that women are like this easy target to take their insecurities out to make themselves feel better, to make themselves feel like they have the right to be there and be like women maybe shouldn't, and like,
Yeah.
oh, we're better than them, so I deserve to be here more than they do. Maybe I also feel like men in leadership positions who like feel insecure, like, oh, like, because everyone feels imposter syndrome. Like I feel it all the time, like especially at school. I feel like any students listening can identify with that. Like they're always, when everyone's so good around you, you're just like, oh my gosh, I suck, I shouldn't be here. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like with men sometimes, like, I don't want to generalize too much because not all men are like this. And I think it's
No.
important to say that.
Yeah.
But I think even girls can do it too. When you have imposter syndrome, I think because of the patriarchy, men will sometimes see women as like, oh, I can belittle her to make myself feel better. Like I deserve to be here more than them.
Yeah, I had one experience, and I was leading a warm-up group, and when I was counting us off to go, my colleague, male, would start counting with me and counting over me, and I was like, well, I'm new, so I don't want to like, I don't know, I didn't know what the vibe was, but I still kept leading it, but it still kept happening, and I was like, this is weird, I don't like this, very disrespectful. And so after the rehearsal, I went up to them and I was like, hey, I don't know what we need to do differently with our rehearsal technique, but I'd like to talk about it. And I mentioned that I didn't really care for them counting over me, and I saw it as disrespectful, and the younger members of the group could see it as like,
well, I mean, it is.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And so he was like, yeah, I think it was just my manly instinct to take control.
That is bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But I was like, okay. And yeah, we need to make sure, just mark who's going to be in charge of what during what, just to put it straight out there.
I think that's just him trying to make himself feel better and be like, I'm better than y'all.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe he just wanted to be the leader of it all. But
maybe that's just to make himself feel better.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what this person's saying about like imposter syndrome. I think all of us can say that we've tried to like prove maybe to ourselves and to others like we deserve to be here. Like, because that imposter syndrome, that voice in the back of your heads can get so loud sometimes, and you're like, I just need to play one solo really well to remember I can be here.
Yeah.
And I think because of society, it's just so easy to take it out on what men might deem easy targets, especially in the brass section, because you guys, there isn't a lot of women in the brass section, and you're just like got a target on your back. Like let's make the girls' lives harder already. Yeah, so much harder than they already are.
Yeah, it's definitely different throughout any ensemble, different sections.
Yeah, thankfully we don't have that same problem in the string section. Yeah. We represent women pretty well, it seems like.
Yes,
but you still see it. I mean, you get like the cocky people, men or women, but I see it more in men, to be honest. I've had like male stand partner being like, which is so improper etiquette, be like, maybe you want to consider like this fingering. And I'm like, what? No one cares if we match fingerings. Like, that's not really a thing unless like the conductor or the concertmaster specifically requests it.
Yeah.
But to go out of your way to be like, are you paying attention to how I'm playing something? Like, this fingering works for me.
Yeah.
Like, and I sound fine. I'm also on the outside.
Dang.
And I'm like, I was low key trying to push down all my violence tendency, being like, do not say anything. Just be like, oh, thank you. And then that comes back to, should I have said something? I don't know. Yeah. And the fact that he felt like he had the right to tell me that, I was also a little offended. And I was like, what made you feel like that's your place? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we're both in a professional symphony right now. Like, this wasn't in school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you trying to make yourself feel better? Like, I have the superior fingering, which doesn't exist.
No, because you have different violins, different makers, I feel like.
I mean, that doesn't really affect too much. It's mostly like your hand and like what feels good in your hand. And it wasn't like I was playing an open E and you should have been playing on an E on the A string, which I don't know if you understand that, but
no, I don't,
you will learn slowly and surely through this podcast. You know, I wasn't doing anything like atrociously stupid. I was just maybe, I don't even remember what my fingering was. I think I was doing it in third, and he was like, oh, it's better in fifth. And I'm like, sounds the same, and I'm blending.
Yeah, hey, that's all that matters. You sound good.
I know. Oh, I feel like this is going to turn into like a vent session.
Oh, no.
This podcast, I promise y'all, I'll try my best not to vent.
Let's go on to the next response.
Yeah. The next one, I actually feel like I relate to a lot as the biggest challenge that we face in music as women is finding music by women to perform. You feel underrepresented. Yeah. And I think that's so true, especially as a violinist, probably as brass too. Like, we have so much classical music that is like standard, and every piece of standard repertoire in the concerti that violinists can play, there's not a one woman. It's, you know, Beethoven, Mozart, Tchaikovsky. I mean, fantastic concertos.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Despite me not liking the standard stuff just because I'm weird. But I'm like, what about Jennifer Higdon? What about I don't know, Clara Schumann. Though I don't think Clara Schumann wrote a concerto, but we don't talk about them.
No, we don't.
And
no.
I'm like, as a woman, I remember being like young, being like, is there a concerto by a woman? Like, imagine
Aw.
Little Darian.
Little Darian.
I was a little feminist in the making.
Let's go.
And I'm like, that would have been cool. I felt like I would have connected with that a lot. And that ties into a whole other spiel we'll get into the next episode about music history and
Yeah.
pedagogy and what we talk about and teach.
How do we find music by women to perform? I think it needs to start with the ensembles that are like in the community. So like orchestras and I don't know, brass bands or string quartets or the leaders in the music community playing pieces by women. We all know a bunch of ensembles that play the same old Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, and maybe
You mean like quartets and stuff?
quartets, orchestras,
Everything.
Maybe not bands for those
I
composers,
mean,
but
everyone wants to hear the typical classical canon stuff, which, I mean, it's great, and it's great for a reason.
Mhm.
But I think there needs to be a good balance.
Oh, definitely.
Because there are composers out there that we just don't talk about or don't play
Don't
very
know
often,
about 'em,
which
yeah.
is what Hero is all about, y'all. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And we're also working to put together a database of all these composers. Slowly but surely, that is being compiled as we speak.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you feel that in brass? I mean, is brass more inclusive, you think?
There are things going in place.
Your face, you're like, how do I answer this kindly?
Yes, there are things going in place that are leading towards more, not more, but maybe, yeah, I guess more inclusive of women. So we have like the International Women's Brass Conference, and a lot of that is trying to showcase what women do in music, specifically in the brass area. A lot of our etudes and exercises, if you look and read the introductory, it's all he needs to do this, he should do this.
Really?
He.
They don't say they or
No,
them?
Not in the beginning. No, like if I don't
just-
want to name any names, but like
They just like anticipate these are going to be male students.
male students.
That would frustrate me so much.
Oh yeah,
Like, oh, that makes me so mad. It's like we're back into like the 1600s
I know.
where all musicians are men and composers are men. And it's like, oh, the women will just stay in their like little salons and private rooms and play music because it's appropriate for women. And there's like fantastic musicians that are just forced into the role of the women and just doing music for leisure.
Yeah,
Oh, that pisses me off.
I know. I mean, if you want to do that, good for you. But like,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, back in like the Baroque era and
Yeah.
classical era, I mean,
we had
women,
no choice.
it was really hard to break out as a
Mhm.
female performer or composer, artist in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, that bugs me so much. Man, like I said, this will not be a vent session. I promise y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh, Angela, you're getting me worked up.
I'm sorry. It's a
Now I feel like I need to look at some of like the treatises for violin. Like maybe they did the same thing.
maybe. Yeah, let us know.
I'm interested. I mean, probably if you look at like older treatises,
Mhm.
maybe like the one by Galami, maybe not. But
Yeah. I mean, like, there are definitely books today that don't do this. And that was, like, the books I'm talking about, I mean, maybe 50 years, which is not
yeah,
long
that's
at
still
all.
pretty recent.
Yeah, it's still pretty recent. But, like, books that are being organized today, and edited today, and written today, I mean, they're more inclusive.
That's good.
Yeah.
I do think things are changing slowly but surely. That's part of, again, sorry to be in this full circle, but what Hero started. I mean, there has to be people like us trying to make classical music more forward thinking, more
Mhm.
inclusive, help
Absolutely.
it evolve. I feel like classical music is in desperate need to evolve and start changing to have better
Yeah.
programming. I love our programs, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I love playing in the symphony. Our audiences are changing. The
Yeah.
younger generation is so different than the generation we have in our audiences right now.
Yeah.
And I think the more we talk about it and the more we, spice up our programming, the more interesting we become.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we need to know Bach, Mozart, Beethoven.
course.
And like, I mean, we'll talk about more of this next week, but
Of course. Yeah.
we need to know those. And then, but we also need to, like what you said, include maybe just one piece written by a woman or underrepresented composer.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what inspires a lot of like my personal programming. I'm like, it doesn't have to be an all female composer program. It doesn't, because I mean, I don't want the programs that have female composers to be one of those all women to promote in just one concert. I think
Mhm.
all concerts should have a balance of both because things should be equal, or some of white ethnicity and some of a minority,
Yeah.
because that is what represents our society now, and that's what's gonna bring in a diverse audience. Also, you know, maybe from different classical eras, and I think it's so important to promote music that is being composed now, that are modern compositions, because that is what classical music is going towards.
Absolutely.
And it makes me so excited. I love contemporary music so much. But yeah, that brings us into our next question. So again, what is the biggest challenge you face as a woman in music? And someone responded on our Instagram saying, intentionally not given parts that were more difficult because, quote unquote, a man should play it, end quote.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't think I've ever knowingly went through this.
Yeah, me neither, actually. Thank God. I would have been so mad.
Oh, yeah. No. Which is great. Change is happening. But I can definitely see that happening. And I'm sure there are many stories to be told about this.
Yeah. I mean, God bless that just has not happened to me. There would have been words spoken.
Good. Yes.
I like to think words would be spoken. Inner Darian would be having a field day. Outer Darian would be trying probably to keep the peace, because I am not super confrontational, despite how I might be representing myself right now.
The real Darian's coming out.
Yes. I choose violence on the inside.
On the inside. Oh.
I definitely could see this happening, though, or at least maybe older, maybe conductors or things like that, or teachers thinking, oh, if a man played this would be better. Then again, that's me judging and assuming.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, there's always like little things I think that show that, especially I think I had a comment that almost walked these lines where it's like, oh, if you were, they didn't say if you were a man, but they're like, oh, if you had like longer fingers like so-and-so who's a guy, this would be so much easier for you, which is true.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have as long fingers as this guy, but I'm at the same point, I'm like, I can still freaking do it.
Yeah.
Please don't bring out this other man into my lesson, please.
Yeah, forget like all that. It's just rude to say something like that too.
And maybe that's why they're like more difficult things. Because I mean, like if you're playing Paganini caprices and you have freaking long fingers like Paganini did, tenths are super easy.
True. Yeah. I wouldn't know, but I could see it.
I don't know. Did they say something similar like with brass? Like, oh, if you have a man, you better lung support. I don't know.
I mean, probably based off of the books. Yeah. You know, a woman we don't have the largest lungs to play the trumpet. We cannot play the trumpet.
Can you do anything about changing your lung capacity, or is it really genetic based?
Yeah, breathing exercises can help build your lung capacity, but I'll show you some. Don't worry. You'll be a trumpet player in no time.
I remember. Didn't you say you were going to teach me how to buzz?
Oh, I did. I'll bring something. I'll bring a visualizer. It'll be great.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, like that buzz thing. Man, I sound stupid. But no. I've always been fascinating. I'm behind stage, like in the backstage before concerts, when like brass players are doing like.
Yeah, mouthpiece buzzing.
I'm like, I don't understand how y'all do that. I really don't.
It's not that hard. It's not hard at all. Easy instrument. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I still don't really understand like embouchures.
Embouchures? Yeah.
And how all that works and how you only have like 3 valves. I'm like, what does that even do? I'm sure you have similar questions about strings.
Oh, absolutely.
Or you're going to witness us educate each
yes.
other about these foreign instruments that we like have general knowledge about, but
yes,
that's about it.
General knowledge, and as in violin is string, trumpet is brass.
And brass is made out of metal.
Let's go. Violin is made out of wood.
Oh, look, we know so much already.
Let's go.
All right. So, again, biggest challenge you face as a woman in music. They said being taken seriously / finding music jobs that don't think less of me for being a woman. What do you think about that? It's rough. I think that happens in any field.
It does. We hear constant stories of like, you know, forget about music for a second. Like I remember like seeing news reports about just like the wages men would get over women.
Oh yeah.
So, you know,
I mean, that happens everywhere still.
It's just a battle we all have to face out of music and in music.
I mean, I do think in jobs, maybe less in music, to be honest, but there are moments where I feel like music people like us are very open-minded and try to be welcoming, especially the younger generation of musicians. We are trying to be more inclusive and not think about gender or ethnicity or whatever. But that still happens, I think, especially when you come into like older generations. Like when I've had lessons with someone who's a lot older than me, I still like feel like that judgment maybe.
Mhm.
And I haven't experienced it in a job yet.
Yeah.
So far I've been accepted into, you know, a nice number of music schools, and I haven't felt judged for being a woman or let in just because I'm a woman or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think in jobs outside of music too, you definitely can get judged. And actually, that's actually what my mom named me, Darian. Fun story. I don't know if I ever told you this.
No.
My mom gave me and my sister gender neutral names. I'm Darian. Her name's Jordan.
Oh.
She said she wanted us to have gender neutral names, so when we like submit our names in resumes, they don't know what gender we are.
Wow.
And maybe won't assume that we're women and just base us off our credentials.
Mhm. Yeah.
And our, you know, awards or whatever, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Even though I hated my name for the longest time.
Aw. It's a good name.
I got made fun of for it. You know, it is kind of a guy name, but you know,
How is it? I you're the first Darian I've met, so I
No,
see it as a...
I met guys with my name, but no girls.
Oh.
I guess I'm special. Whatever. I think it's great because people kind of remember me more, despite no one knowing how to freaking spell it.
Yeah.
But I think that goes to show, though, that even my mom thought, hey, maybe I should give my children gender neutral names so they're not judged based on their gender.
Wow.
So I think that goes to show that some women aren't taken seriously despite having great credentials.
Yeah.
Next question, y'all. Someone gave us a quote. They said, quote, "You can't play Hindemith well because you're a woman and don't understand male feelings," end quote. This made me mad for this person.
This is ridiculous. I'm sorry I'm sorry if you're listening that you were told this.
Oh, this makes me so mad. Actually, I shouldn't whisper that. This makes me so mad. If someone said this to me, oh man, maybe my violence on the inside would become outward.
I would get like, well then how would you do it? I don't know. And then it would probably be no different, no better. And it's just ridiculous.
I think that goes back to why blind auditions are such a thing in orchestras now, because
Yeah.
remember when they weren't a thing, they're like, oh, we'd be able to tell the difference if a man or a woman played the repertoire. Put the sheet up, you know?
Oh yeah.
Could not tell. And I think that's for anything. I mean, it's not like women sound like women when
Yeah.
they play. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've heard countless stories of master classes being run and a woman playing, and then the instructor just saying this, "Oh, yes, for a woman, you're doing really great."
Mm.
You know?
It's my angry growl.
Yeah, I just want to like, well, what do you mean by that? You know?
It's hard, and like especially in a master class or a lesson setting where you really respect the instructor.
Yeah.
I would love to just be like, you know, inquire, why'd you say that? But I feel like I'm always scared to like question them, you know, which that also comes back to this whole power dynamic between student and teacher, especially with a male teacher. That's a whole other spiel. That whole power dynamic can be so easily abused.
Yeah.
So many stories that I don't think we need to go into today, because we could talk about that another time for sure.
Oh, it'll come up again.
Yeah. But I feel like this definitely does happen.
Oh, 100%.
Especially in the brass, where like, oh, you play well for a girl.
Yeah. You're so loud for a girl. Or that one.
Or actually, like, I saw an orchestra once, and like these people would come up to me and they're like, and the other performers, which were men, because there was a bunch of soloists who won the concerto competition or something, so we all had a couple movements that we played of different concertos, and they were like, oh, you sounded great, and then they get to me and they're like, oh, you looked beautiful.
Oh,
And I'm like,
that's not what you want to hear.
no.
I don't care.
I was like, so, and
Yeah.
what did I sound like? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? I could care less. I could have wore a sack. I just want you to tell me
Yeah.
it sounded good because I
Wow.
worked on this concerto for freaking ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that made me so mad. That just brings me feelings of that
Mm-hmm.
back.
Absolutely.
All right, next question. Someone said their biggest challenge is being recognized as less than or unqualified just because of my gender. This is kind of like that previous question about, you know, maybe being taken seriously for jobs and such.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this
Yeah.
reminds me of.
This kind of ties in. This response kind of ties in all the responses that we've been having.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that sometimes, just unconscious bias of like, oh, you're
Yeah.
a girl.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't know this, or
Yeah. It's like when you walk into, like if you're subbing for an orchestra, you walk in and they're like, oh.
Probably for
It's a
brass
girl,
more than
yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you would feel that more than I do.
Yeah. I definitely notice the looks.
Yeah.
Definitely. But
I mean, I gotten something similar, not in music, but music related, where I had a boyfriend at the time in my undergrad. He shall not be named. I felt like he thought I wasn't qualified for this accomplishment that I got.
Oh.
I was invited to like this lesson with a super prestigious like teacher,
mm-hmm.
and I was telling him about it, like so excited, and he goes, "Oh, he just offered you that because you're pretty."
Oh gosh.
I was so mad.
Your boyfriend at the time?
Yeah, we
at
broke
the
up.
time. Gosh.
Yeah, we are no longer together.
Gosh.
But he told me that, and I remember just looking at him wide-eyed, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably my mouth dropped. I was like, "Did you really just say that?"
Yeah, it's so rude.
I was like, "Are you?" He was like, "Oh, he probably just thinks you're pretty." And I was like,
Ew.
I was like, "No, I'm a really good violinist. I don't know if you've heard me."
Get it? Yes. We
I
love
was like,
confidence.
No, I was so mad. I don't
Yeah.
even know what I said back. I probably didn't know how to respond. I was a little less outspoken at the time.
Yeah,
but-
but it's hard at the moment too.
Yeah, when you always think back, like I should have said that.
Yeah,
It happens to me all the time.
all the time.
I have anxiety, and I feel like I'm always going over the things I should say
Oh.
all the time.
Me too. Even the smallest thing, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that or whatever.
Oh yeah. But I think that goes back to like this assumption
Mhm.
that you're like unqualified or undeserving. Oh, it makes me so mad. I'm gonna try not to be like angry.
So, yeah, let's be happy.
Yeah.
It's hard too with this one though.
Episode 1, we are celebrating, y'all. Oh, and I guess they had a follow-up because in the next one it said also in capital letters, hearing, quote, they said hearing you're okay or great for a girl. And they said that that's getting super old, which I think ties into the next one saying being the only girl in the low brass section.
Yeah, that one. Low brass section.
I feel like you hear that a lot. You're good for a girl.
Oh yeah.
For a girl, you don't need to add that part.
Yeah, you're good. That's all I have to say.
I know.
But-
We already know we're girls. You don't need to remind us. We are tough, resilient. And if you're playing a brass instrument surrounded by men, even more so. I have so much respect for you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Same to you. It's all hard.
Honestly, just being in classical music or any sort of musician is so hard.
But we love it.
Yes. Of course. You have to remind yourself that you love it because you can get so easily caught up in just the grind of it, I feel like. Do you feel like there's a way to get more women into the brass section? Like, why do you think it's so minimal?
So male dominated. I mean, it's just how it's portrayed. I mean, the first brass players, all male. Oh, it was just uncommon back in the day for a woman to play a brass instrument. I mean, we see sculptures of angels playing them.
That's a good point, and I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And are there female
Yeah.
angels? Yeah.
Yeah. And when you think back to times of Altenberg, and who's a pedagogue of trumpet back in the day.
Yeah. I
Forget
was like,
his
I don't
song.
know that name. I'm gonna pretend like I know.
Yes. Another A2 books and fundamental books that we have. He is all in it. Going back to just seeing the women now that we have in orchestras like Carol Jansch, and I mean in the beginning we have players like Marie Spezial, who's a woman trumpet player in an orchestra, who is a big influence for women in trumpet.
Do you think it starts at school?
Starts at school, of course. I saw an ad the other day, and it was for a music shop, and it was all women playing brass instruments.
Oh, that's
I was
awesome.
like, that's adorable.
I want to
Let's
shout
go.
out that
don't
music
know.
store. You don't know?
I can't remember the name. Dietz Music, I think it said.
Oh, nice.
Dietz Music. I don't know where they're from though.
Well, they are obviously with the times. I so respect that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, next question. Because it's like 10 o'clock our time now.
I'm just getting tired.
I'm still awake. I'm a night owl. I practice right now.
I be slump.
I love practicing at nighttime. The next answer was how people care what you wear when you're performing.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to your concerto comp.
Oh my God. Yes. And especially with just like orchestral dress codes. Goodness gracious. Dress codes. I hate dressing in the all black dress codes in orchestra.
Yeah.
It's like, God forbid we have ankles.
Oh yeah, no. Cover them ankles. We don't want to see them, like, apparently. It's ridiculous.
It's like you want to feel good. You want to dress nice, but dressing nice in an orchestra is like dressing like we're pretending we don't have skin.
Yeah.
And
we're hiding the fact that we're women.
Yes, no cleavage. You know, make sure you don't have like low cut V-neck, or make sure it covers your elbows.
Yeah, my biggest thing was the ankles. Having to wear dress pants, you know, all that.
And
then,
pantyhose.
yeah, and covering my ankles. Like, let them free.
I'm like, why don't you just enjoy my nice shoes? Because if I wear the black pantyhose, you can't see my nice black shoes. And I mean, I feel bad for the guys too in those suits. That must be freaking hot.
True, yeah.
And those like cockroach tails.
Cockroach dance.
That's what they look like.
I guess so,
Because
yeah.
they have the long.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, like the long
I've heard
tail.
penguin.
Yeah, they look like
Okay.
penguins too, but I think cockroaches is funnier. The men are cockroaches.
Oh, gosh.
It's not true, but it's a joke, y'all.
Haha.
But it does look like little cockroach rings, and I do feel bad for the guys. I mean, that looks a little uncomfortable. But I mean, if you want girls to look equally nice and not like we're nuns,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to feel pretty when I'm playing. I mean, I feel like when you're playing, you want to look good because it makes you feel confident.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I want to wear,
I respect the dress code.
yeah,
I feel like it should be respectful, but also like I think it's so over the line right now.
yeah. I mean, I once was wearing, it's like a summer,
Mhm.
like outside concert performance with a small ensemble, and it was I was wearing, I didn't have to wear black pantyhose, but apparently I was still crossing a line because my
Oh, no.
black pants did not touch my ankles. They were more like
Oh.
capris or something. 'Cause I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it's hot out and it's like a more relaxed gig. Nope, that was not okay. Apparently, they're like, do you have another pair of pants? Thank goodness I did.
Oh gosh.
Because they're like, those aren't long enough. And I was like, something wrong with my calves?
That's ridiculous.
I was
Wow.
like, it's covering my knees.
Yeah.
I have like what, 5 inches from my ankles to where
Mhm.
my pants, you know, cut off. I'm long legged. That's
Yeah.
another problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I was shorter, this probably would have touched my ankles.
Oh,
But I'm like, why do y'all care so much? Like,
Mhm.
really, why? Does it take away from the music? No. If I was wearing like red socks, would that take away from the music? Yes.
A
You
little
know,
bit.
if I was, I don't know, wearing like a crop top.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's not, you know, I mean, should it matter for wearing crop tops? Eventually, I hope it does not matter. But will it take away? Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, or if you're wearing like a super patterned blouse, or
Mm-hmm.
but like I've once been wearing like this long black dress, but it had like a cutout in the back, so it was like partially like backless, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It's not like you saw it the whole time.
Mhm.
But I remember my professor at the time was like, "Oh, you can't wear that because if you
Oh.
turn around and they see it's backless, that's inappropriate." And I was like, "I'm literally wearing a long sleeve black dress. It comes up to my collarbone, so you're not seeing any of the girls down below, and it's touching my ankles. Like it's a long black dress. It's just the back has a little cute cutout."
Yeah.
I was like, "Really? Why do y'all care so much?" I'm like, "It's not like you're going to see it." That made me. Ugh.
Yeah. That's.
I'm like, "Why do y'all care so much about what I'm wearing?" It's not like I'm still being respectful,
Yeah. As long as you're being respectful, you know, like you said, not distracting.
and I feel like, especially like conductors, they wear things that are out there more,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'd be slightly distracted just because my eyes go, "Oh, hey, you're wearing colored socks,"
True. Yeah.
but then it'd be gone after a second. It's not a big deal.
yeah.
But oh, God forbid if someone in the orchestra wore colored socks.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
world is
Cover the
ending.
ankles up. God bless. Yeah.
Again, and that thing that goes for either one. I mean,
Mhm.
people care a lot what we're wearing, but I think things are changing, especially at FSU. I mean, if you're gender nonconforming, you don't have to wear a suit,
Yeah.
or if you're a woman, you want to wear a suit, go ahead.
yeah. It's awesome.
And I think it's slowly changing.
Oh yeah.
I think I'd be okay if we do away with like the suits for the guys and we all just wear concert black.
Yeah. I mean, it looks very professional.
Well, true,
But it's a little much sometimes.
yeah, I liked what FSU did actually during the pandemic. We were black on the bottom and colored tops, like solid colored tops, and
Oh.
it didn't matter what color. And I liked the
Mhm.
vibe, and it wasn't distracting.
No.
I didn't think so. I mean, I watched our video recordings.
Mhm.
And I thought it looked fine.
Yeah. I think more orchestras, more ensembles taking that chance and kind of like seeing how the audience reacts is a good way to kind of change the dress code.
I'm like, I think as long as you're respectful, and that's all the dress code needs to reflect. I think sometimes it just gets taken too far.
It does.
Where it's like, oh, you're a woman. We should not know you have skin.
Hide them ankles, girls.
I know. It's really all about the ankles and the elbows. Cover the joints.
They don't need to know that we have those.
No, despite, using our elbows to bow on the violin. You do not have elbows.
No.
They are invisible. I think that's all our questions. If you want to contribute, we will be posting more questions on our social media. So visit our Instagram again at hero.musicians, and we will be posting more questions, and we'd love for y'all to respond or, message us.
Yeah.
Tell us a story. Tell us some crappy thing that happened to you because you're a woman, or some funny story that happened to you that day, or anything really, man or woman. We want to hear from y'all.
Definitely.
And if we love it, so make it good, we'll talk about it on the podcast. So share your story with us. We want to talk about it on the podcast. We want to get your opinions. We want to know what y'all think. Please join our circle.
Yes.
Again, that takes us to our our logo that says we are a circle around women in music. Join our circle, join our conversation. We want this to be like a relaxed, comfortable place for y'all to listen and talk to us. So if you have any questions or want to share stories, you can visit our website, which is www.her/omusic.com, or you can message us on Instagram or Facebook. So our Instagram again is at hero.musicians, or you can email us hero.musicians@gmail.com. I'm trying to remember all of our contacts.
There are many ways to contact us.
Yes. Our social media would be probably easiest to find. We are slowly and surely but growing. I feel like that's my new motto, slowly but surely. I don't get overwhelmed with everything. I feel like I'm always working on Hero, and it makes me so excited.
Aw, yay.
But also, so nervous because I'm so passionate about this whole project. But sorry, tangent again, bringing us full circle. We want to hear your stories and share them on the podcast. All right, y'all, here's a little closing out for y'all. We're gonna try to do trivia at the end of all of our episodes, so you can make fun of us for the things we do not know about. Let's do a fancy sound, don't you think?
Oh yes.
Let's do the sparkle.
Oh.
So Angela is our brass player, and she's gonna make me feel really bad about knowing nothing about brass, apparently.
Nah, I think you can get these. Okay. Are you ready?
No.
Question number 1.
Okay.
Which composer did not compose a trumpet concerto?
Oh,
All right.
God.
1, Hummel. 2, Bartok. 3, Neruda.
Can you tell me, was it Hummel or Hummel?
Hummel.
I do not know the composer. Is that bad?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I feel like I have crickets in my brain. Ha ha ha, y'all. And it was Bartok, and what was the last one?
Neruda.
Neruda.
Yeah.
I only know Bartok.
Yeah, maybe it's a hard one.
I know. I didn't give you easy ones, so this is good.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I feel like since I know Bartok, it's Bartok.
You're correct.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go with the. I'm like, if I know
Yes.
Bartok, he probably didn't compose for trumpet.
True. Yeah. We love that.
I wish. Oh, here's
Yes.
clap for myself.
All
Pat
right.
on my back. 1 point. Woohoo!
Good job. Good job. We'll mark that down. Darian, 1 point. All right.
We don't want to keep track. And just a pat
A
on my
pat
back.
on your back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 1 point. Well, I'll see who wins this round.
Oh, and then it'll matter. Okay. Heard. Okay. Question number 2.
Okay.
How many valves does the natural trumpet have?
There are different types of trumpets.
Yes, ma'am. Get ready for the next one.
Valves. Is yours a natural trumpet? Well, or does that give the answer away?
No, mine is. It kind of gives the answer away.
Is it 3?
Oh, we've talked about natural trumpet before with Miranda.
Oh, good. Don't tell me that, because then I feel bad for not remembering. Is it 3?
I gave you a whole lecture on it. I was so passionate about it.
Was it 3 or is it 0? Okay, final answer. 0.
Oh, correct.
Oh my
Corrected.
gosh!
0 valves on the natural trumpet. There are natural trumpets that have holes in them.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting. The things you learn. Do you guys still play on natural trumpets?
They are Baroque ensembles.
Oh, okay. Are they
and
hard? Harder?
Harder. Well, there are no valves, so it's all done with your air, your embouchure, and if like you can hear the notes.
You'll have to explain what embouchure is to me. Can you tell me
Embouchure.
real quick?
You want me to give you an embouchure lesson on the podcast?
For me and the non-brass people possibly listening to us right now, brief lecture.
Brief lecture
one
on
paragraph.
the
Tell
embouchure.
us.
So we're just going to go with the trumpet.
Okay.
We have the mouthpiece. We know what that looks like, right?
Yeah.
The embouchure is how the mouthpiece fits around your mouth. So if everyone want to make sense, this is one way to learn like a trumpet embouchure. So if you go poo, and then that poo, the little hole right there is your aperture.
Oh.
And that's a way
So the poo
the poo
is embouchure.
no, I mean it's a whole setup. It's
Okay.
a setup that gets you to be able to play the trumpet. I mean, firm corners right here on the side of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that changes pitches.
that can help you change pitch. Yes.
Wow. The things you learn.
We'll
Brass seems really difficult sometimes.
I mean, we just make it sound difficult sometimes.
And the fact that you'll have to transpose sometimes, like, I'm like, oh, I'm so
Oh,
glad
yeah.
I don't have to do that on the violin.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. Question number 3.
Question number 3.
Give it to me.
What famous trumpet piece was written for the keyed trumpet?
The what trumpet?
The keyed trumpet.
Okay.
All right. Hint. Today we play this piece on E flat trumpet. No hint. That wasn't good.
That doesn't help me.
Oh,
Is it a composer I would know? Like, is it standard, like Bartok?
it's a standard. I mean, no. Like this composer has written string quartets
Oh.
and symphonies, and he was
Okay,
a
another
jokester.
So name the composer who wrote
Yes.
this. What was it again? Repeat the question.
Yes. What famous trumpet piece was written for the keyed trumpet? And hint. Today we play this piece on E flat trumpet.
What the hell is a keyed
Keyed
trumpet?
Think about it. I mean, it's a trumpet.
Is that what you are? Is like
No.
the E flat trumpet a keyed trumpet?
No, the valve. That's a valve trumpet.
Yeah, this is why I'm stupid about brass.
No, it's okay. It's a little complicated. We have a lot of
Oh my gosh.
trumpets.
We have a dog in our not
our
really
studio. It's our studio.
Sure, in my apartment, and he is over there with the weirdest face. Honestly, I should share pictures of him on our social media.
He's cute. No,
He's probably feeling how Angela's feeling right now, which is tired.
sleepy.
Back to answering this question. I'm gonna pretend like I know what this answer is. So is it a concerto?
Yes,
Okay, so concerto.
we talked about this concerto before on the same conversation with Miranda.
See, you put that on me, and it's supposed to help. But
I thought it would.
Hummel?
Is that your final answer?
No, because you're looking at me like I shouldn't. You said it's standard, relatively standard composer. Hindemith? Hindemith. Final answer.
No,
Shit.
it's Haydn.
Oh,
Haydn concerto. You know it.
not for Trump.
Bum, bum,
Oh.
bum, bum.
Oh yeah. You know, I was on the right track because I started with an H.
You did. Yeah, Hummel.
So I was Hummel, Hindemith, Haydn. You know, like I would
HHH.
maybe I would have gotten there.
Yeah. Oh, dang. Well, 2 out of 3. That's okay.
Here's our.
Yes.
Can you tell I'm a dork? All right. Hopefully I'll get you with my questions.
No, gosh.
All right.
I'm ready.
So for Angela,
Ooh.
such a queen. All right. First question. What is the frog?
Oh, it's an amphibian.
Have you heard us talking about this in the strings? Have you heard us be like, play at the frog?
The frog. Okay, let me think back.
We say it a lot. Conductors probably say it too.
The frog.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. The frog. I'm going to think. I won't know the exact. I'm going to. This is. You guys.
Your
can see
imaginary
this.
violin.
My imaginary violin. I'm showing Darian right now. And here's the top.
Okay.
You know, the strings go down.
Mhm.
The body.
Mm.
The frog is. It's not this thing that like helps with the tension of the strings. The frog. The composers say play it on the frog. That's what they say.
At the frog,
Play at the frog.
typically, or away from the frog.
Play at the frog. Play at the frog.
feel like my fridge is making noises.
Your fridge is like, I know the answer. I hear it all the time.
Probably. Honestly, I practice this at home all the time. God bless my neighbors.
Play at the frog. The frog, you know what? Final answer. The frog is that after the head of the violin, that little thing.
First off, no, it's not on the violin. It's on the bow.
On the bow.
God, I'm gonna love these sound effects so much.
Dang. What's the frog?
It's on the bow. It's at the very end of the bow where we hold it. So
That's a frog.
We call it the frog. That little square part
Why
at the
do
end of the
they call
bow.
it frog?
I have no idea, but it's the frog. It's that. It's the part that we're holding at the end of the bow. So you have the frog, and then you have the tip,
Frog and tip.
and then the middle of the bow. So it's essentially the bottom, and then the
Wow.
tip is the top.
Now I have to know why it's called the frog.
Honestly, I have no idea why, but on a lot of bows you'll see like a circle,
Yeah.
and we call that the eye of the frog.
Hmm.
I don't know why,
Interesting.
but it's fun to tell kids about it, and they'll always ask us the same question: why is it called a frog? And I have to be like, I don't know.
Wow. I'm gonna stay up all night tonight trying to figure this out.
So we're at 2-0.
Oh, okay. Easy there. What's the next question?
All right. So here's my multiple choice question for you. All right. Which is not a violin soloist?
Oh.
All right. You have 4 choices. First, we have Itzhak Perlman, Gil Shaham, Nicola Benedetti, or Jasmine Choi.
There are 4.
Which is not
Not.
a violin soloist.
One more time. Last names only, please.
Perlman, Shaham, Benedetti, Choi.
What if they're listening right now? I get this wrong.
I hope one of them are listening. I'd be so excited if we have someone of their accomplishment listening to us.
I'm sure.
And
we
if
do.
you are listening, please message us. We want to talk to you.
True. We can interview you.
Yes, please. I really want to have a conversation with you.
Okay.
Yeah, as the violinist.
One more time for me.
Itzhak Perlman, Gil Shaham, Nicola Benedetti, Jasmine Choi.
I'm going to go with final answer. Number 2.
Gil Shaham?
Yeah. Oh, brother. Who is it?
It's Jasmine Choi.
What does she do?
I had to Google for names to come up with, but apparently she is a famous flute player.
Oh, good for Jasmine.
Yeah. The rest are...
She never played violin once? Are you sure? Maybe I'm right. I'm just kidding.
if she played violin, she's not a violin soloist.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
there's a disdistinction.
Fair enough.
Because I wouldn't consider myself a violin soloist. Can I play solo violin? Yes. Do I want to do that? No.
No? Okay.
I like playing in ensembles, thank you.
Yeah.
But Itzhak Perlman, shout out to Itzhak Perlman if he's listening. You're my favorite violinist.
Oh.
I love you, and I listen to all your recordings.
Aw.
So
True
amazing.
fan.
It's such an amazing story. You should Google him.
Okay, I will.
Super cool.
Along with the frog.
Yeah.
You can look up key trumpets.
Yeah, but he's an amazing story. He's from Jerusalem.
Oh.
He overcame polio.
Oh.
He's like one of the only violinists that plays sitting down
Whoa.
because of his illness he was diagnosed with when he was a child. But fantastic violinist, wonderful tone, such warmth, and and Gil Shaham, also one of my favorites. I listened to his Prokofiev concertos a lot. So good.
Okay.
And Nicola Benedetti, would love to talk to her too.
I've heard of that name.
Yeah, she's a violin soloist, and she's doing a lot like philanthropy for musicians and outreach, and I think she's amazing and gorgeous.
Aw.
And I say so myself. Yeah, y'all, I'm bisexual, but not in that way. I just think she's pretty.
Okay. Next question.
Tangent again. I'm sorry. All right. Question number 3. What is the name of the thing that we put on our bows to help grip the string?
Starts with an R.
Yes. You know that thing we see?
Rosin.
Yeah.
Let's go. Whoa.
You got a longer applause.
Let's go.
So you got 1 point. Yay.
Yay. I don't know the violin.
That was good. You got 1.
Thanks.
Rosin.
Wow.
So when you see like me whip out this random circular thing or rectangular, everyone's is a little different. You rub it on the bow and it makes it sticky.
Oh.
Fun fact: dancers, especially like ballet dancers, put rosin on their point shoes so they don't slip.
Wow.
I only know that because my sister was a ballet dancer.
Oh, I was a ballet dancer for 5 years.
Oh, so did you, like on your point shoes, you put that stuff on it?
I think so.
That's rosin.
Oh,
It's like crushed up rosin.
wow.
Yeah, they'll put it so they don't slip
Yeah.
on the floor.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, so like if you're due for a bow rehair and don't want to pay right at the moment, extra rosin, baby.
Wow. Okay.
So it helps get that bite and stick.
That makes
Because if you
sense.
don't, like if you get a fresh bow rehair and you don't have rosin on the bow, it just slip and slides.
Oh.
It does not keep contact
Wow.
like at all.
The more you know.
Yeah. So if you don't tell a violinist they need rosin, be like, you're violent.
You need some rosin, Darian.
Yeah, that's one way of saying you have shitty bow contact right
You
now.
could say, well, you need valve oil, Angela. And I'm like, oh, dang. Okay.
I didn't know y'all had an equivalent.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, cork grease or valve oil, I think, would be equivalents.
Why does that sound gross? I feel like every time I think of winds and breasts, I think of spit and things that are gross.
Condensation, please. We're respectful here.
Oh my gosh. Y'all have oils. We have rosin.
Literally.
And I think of oils, I think of like that make it slipperier.
I mean, that's for the valves, so they can go up and down easier.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's not to make things grip. It's supposed to make things slip.
Wow. The
Tagline.
All right.
Thank you for listening to our trivia.
Woo.
I promise I won't use these sounds as much
No,
from
you,
here on.
you gotta use it every time. Keep it up.
Yeah. Okay. I want to tease y'all a little bit about the next episode. So excited.
Mhm.
I reached out to an FSU professor, Rachel Lumsden. Y'all should read about her on, just Google her, FSU faculty. Amazing teacher. She has this class where she teaches about women in music from a music theory perspective. I've always wanted to take her class. I still plan on trying to take it.
Yeah.
Just haven't gotten in because it fills up really fast. So we're going to be talking to her next week. Rachel Lumsden is an assistant professor of music theory at Florida State University. Dr. Lumsden is a leading theorist in atonal music, women's studies, feminist theory, and critical race theory.
Wow.
And she's super accomplished.
Now we're gonna dive right into all those topics. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and she's excited and she's gonna talk to us, and she actually wants to work with Hero and partner her class with our class. So fun fact for all of y'all, you'll be hearing more from her in the future outside of episode 2. But she's amazing. We are so excited to interview her for the next episode. So please stay tuned, and if we by any chance scared you away, maybe they'll bring you back in.
Oh yeah.
Come listen to Rachel Lumsden, amazing female professor at Florida State, which is where we go to school right now.
Go Knowles.
Yes, I will support the school
Yeah.
sports and mascots, Seminoles all the way. So we hope to have you back next week. And that's all we have for you today. We are your hosts, Darian and Angela. Hero Talk is associated with the nonprofit Hero. Please visit our website to learn more and follow us on social media. Please, 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 please. And like and subscribe our weekly podcast. And we'll see you next week.